Get ready to be ignited by the most inspiring personalities our continent has to offer. MTC's Masters of Success.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I feel a lot of awesomeness in the house tonight. Please allow me to welcome you to the first series of the MTC Masters of Success. I hear a lot of people calling it sexes, success, sixos, but it's really the MTC Masters of Success. Very pleased to see so many people here tonight. I know that you could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here. We appreciate it. This show is a series of 9 or 10 shows that we're going to have per year. This is obviously being the first one, just designed to inspire young people like yourself and myself, so that you find your own inspiration and hopefully inspire those that come after you. So thank you very much for coming here tonight. We are definitely going to try and inspire you. We hope to see you here every month, I think till November, with different personalities across the African continent. And of course, when I say across the African continent, I mean Namibia as well. So you're going to be seeing one personality across the African continent per month that we're going to bring to you. Hopefully give you an opportunity to just shake hands with the person. I hope that you guys have sent us your comments through Facebook and social media, any questions that you want to ask the personalities. We hope that we do you justice tonight with inspiration. This is probably one of the only times that a traffic officer will allow you to drink while driving. We are going to build a fountain of inspiration for this whole year. And we encourage you to drink as much from that fountain of inspiration. But this show, we need to get the show on the ground. You don't want to listen to me. I know you're all excited to come and see and hear Bonang speak. But to start the show, we have a show host. Please allow me to introduce her to you. She's a very passionate 24-year-old, shall I say, little girl. She's a law graduate, very passionate about humanitarian activities. She has been the co-host of the Namibian Annual Music Awards, obviously brought to you by MTC and NBC at the 2014 numbers. So please allow me to warmly welcome our show host, Josie Gipando. Feeling good?
Very well.
Ready to start the show?
I am excited and I'm loving the fact that there's so many people here. Thank you very much, Tim.
Most welcome.
Good evening, Namibia. Wow, I must say I'm impressed. We've turned out in numbers and obviously we're here to be inspired, and inspired we shall be. Now, thank you so much for joining us here at the NTN Theatre for our very first ever Masters of Success, brought to you by MTC, and of course those who will be watching it at home on your very fancy NBC digital decoders. If you don't have one, make sure you get yourself one right away. Let's get the show on the road, ladies and gentlemen. Our very first guest needs an eloquent introduction as required of royalty, is it not? She is known as Africa's style icon, the host of Metro FM's The Front Row, as well as the host, of course, of the Clash of the Choirs on Mzansi Magic, and she is Revlon Cosmetics Sub-Saharan African Ambassador. That is huge, isn't it? But if you think that's fancy, Bonang is renowned for being the first ever black woman to grace the cover of Glamour magazine in South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and give a standing ovation if you wanted to none other than Queen Bee herself, Miss Bonang Matheba. Welcome to Namibia.
Thank you.
Isn't she just lovely?
Hello.
They are clearly excited to have you here, so let's give them their time.
Let's do it. Why not?
You touched down on the land of the brave a couple of hours ago. Very first impression.
Yes, my very first impression. My first time in Namibia, by the way. I've never been here, so it's lovely to be here. Thank you very much. The first thing, my first impression was it's so quiet and so serene, and your airport is very far. That's all I kept thinking, like, where are the houses? Where is everything? You know, but I mean, it's just so quiet, so peaceful. Everyone has been so lovely, and it's a beautiful country. It's very hot.
Yes.
Very hot.
It gets
the women
even worse.
are super hot. So,
Thank you very much. There we have it. Bonang, let's get the show on the road as we are here to inspire all of these very lovely Namibians here to see.
You told me something.
Yes.
What was it? Ongini.
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 And she taught me something too. She said I should say Dumelang.
Madume.
Madume. There we have
Yes,
it.
there you go.
Okay. So before Bonang was Queen Bee, there was this young girl somewhere in South Africa with big dreams and aspirations. Walk us through your upbringing.
My upbringing, well, I was born June 25th on the coldest day. My mother always said it was a Thursday in a small town called Mafikeng in the Northwest Province. And my dreams and aspirations, I mean, I was a very simple girl. You know, I grew up around a lot of women. I had my mom, and my mom has 4 sisters, and I had a grandmother, and, you know, that's all I knew. My parents divorced when I was 5, and then I left Mafikeng to go to Johannesburg with my mother, and I've been in Johannesburg ever since. And, you know, my mom and I were very, very, very poor. We stayed in central Johannesburg in the CBD called Hillbrow. Very rough, very violent, lots of, you know, guns and violence and all sorts of things that you wouldn't want a little girl to grow up around. And I stayed there. I went to a Catholic school. I'm Catholic.
Oh, okay.
Went to a convent, was taught by nuns. So...
Well, then clearly she knows her Hail Mary very well.
Very well. So I went to Dominican convent, stayed with my mom in Hillbrow for a very long time. I mean, she struggled for a very, very long time to kind of, you know, put food on the table. And I remember the one time there was an incident. I was in grade 2 or 3, and we were at the taxi rank. And I remember her vividly. She was, you know, walking around the taxi rank asking the taxi drivers for, you know, 2 rand, just or some money, so we could get home. And eventually there was a good Samaritan who gave us some money, and we got back home. She was a nurse. She worked at Baragwanath Hospital. But my upbringing was just that, just plain and simple and normal and just...
Nothing special, no silver spoon.
The only thing that was special is I was surrounded by a lot of love. You know, that's all I know. My aunts and uncles and mom and grandmother just showered me with lots and lots of love. That's all I remember. It was tons and tons of fun. And I remember kind of moving between Johannesburg and Mafikeng, going to my mom and dad and, you know, during school holidays. But my dreams and aspiration, at the age of 9, I just wanted to be a preschool teacher.
Okay.
That is it. You know, I'm Cancerian. You know, Cancerians have a very, very strong motherly instinct. We love children. We love to mother. We take care of people around us. And I always tell any man that I see, you have to marry a Cancerian woman. They are the best. Hey to the Cancerians, hey now. So that was it, you know. But I remember when I was in grade 11, grade 12. No, not grade 11 and 12. Grade 8 and 9, or 7 and 8. And I was watching television, and you know, in South Africa, there was a show called Jam Alley. And there was a lady...
You guys remember that one?
on Jam Alley called Vinolia Mashiko. And I remember watching her thinking, I want to be this woman. She was so vivacious. She was so amazing. She was just so full of life. And I remember saying, I want to do that. And I told my mom, she's like, ugh, please, whatever. Ugh, whatever, please. And I was going through the newspapers one day, and there was an advert saying they're looking for, TV presenters and extras and actors and actresses. And I remember going to her saying, we need 3,000 rand. You have 3,000 rand because it's TV, it's a TV presenting course.
Yeah.
And I remember her saying, yes, I actually have 3,000 rand. You can go. And I went for almost a year every Saturday, and that's where it started for me. But the reason why I got into television and not preschool, education was because when I took in my application at the University of Johannesburg, there was no space anymore for, in education because
Blessing
the
in
university was so
disguise.
full.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing something else that I didn't want to do. And I think that's the reason why I ended up in television, because what I really wanted to do was either preschool education or be a grade 1 or 2 teacher, English teacher specifically. There was no space. So I ended up looking for other things in other places.
It's interesting that you mention education, which leads me to my next question. Most people look at media practitioners and think, oh, she just needs to be light in complexion, have a petite body and a pretty face, and you're good for TV. How important was education in your rise to the top, and what kind of education have you, of course, acquired?
Honestly, in entertainment, you don't need to be educated.
There we have it.
That's just the truth. I just feel, although you can be educated,
Yeah.
this is my belief, you have to be born to do it.
Yes.
You can teach somebody to be a good presenter. They can be a fantastic TV presenter, TV host, but somebody who was born to do it will always be better than somebody who went to school for it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, it depends. If you want to go into the behind the scenes, the TV production, the camera work, the lights, the everything, the nitty-gritty, the business side of education, then absolutely. But when you are on TV, it's something completely different, absolutely different. And for me, I always get asked, really? I'm like, yes, you have to be pretty. Obviously, you have to be pretty.
Very important.
You
We see you
I watch
before we
TV
hear
to
you.
see pretty people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But that is it. You have to be born into it. Like, I see a lot of people who go to TV presenting courses, go to the schools, get the skills, do all of that. But then after all of that, they still don't do well and ask themselves, why? Because like everything else that you put on earth to do, there's a purpose. You're not on earth just, to kind of, hey, fall in love, die, do what you need. No,
Yeah.
you actually have a purpose. And for me, I honestly feel like I'm doing what I was meant to do, because it's effortless. But honestly, you don't need education.
But she doesn't mean quit school.
No.
That's not what
absolutely
she's
not.
saying.
My
Yeah.
black parents won't allow you to quit school, so it's not like we have a choice.
Yes. Now, before we continue, obviously, as a matter of fact, you're South African. A lot of Africans believe in Ubuntu.
Yes.
A person is not a person without other people. So who are the key figures in your life that have been there for you and supported you in your rise to the top? And how have they contributed to the person that you've become?
Well, God. Simple. First of all, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him, number one. He is my alpha and omega. He's the reason why I'm in Namibia right now.
Yes.
He gave me everything that I have. My mind, my body, my soul, my talent, my family. Even before I can talk about my family, somebody had to put them there.
Yes.
So, he's the reason why I do everything. He's the reason why I have so much faith. He's the reason why I want to do so much, because I feel like I owe my life to him. Other than God, second to that is definitely my parents, my mother and father. In the beginning, like every other black parent, they were like, hell no.
Yeah.
You are wasting your time. Entertainment is just like, please, come on, get a real job.
Yeah.
You're going to talk on TV? Really? That's not a job.
Yeah.
You're going to speak on radio? Really? That's not a job. Get an education, marry a rich man, have babies. I'm like, no. No. That's not me. That's not what I'm going to do. But my parents, obviously, it took a lot of convincing, but definitely my parents, they are, for me, when you do something and you wake up every morning and your parents either SMS you or they send you an email or they pick up that call and they say, you make me so proud. There's no other fulfillment better than that.
No better feeling. Isn't she just so inspiring? Like, there's so much inspiration in the room. Can you guys feel it?
Almost there.
I can definitely feel it. And while we give you the opportunity for all of that awesomeness to marinate, because we have to let it sink in, you have to leave with it. We don't want you to leave it here. We're going to take a quick break. But immediately after that, gentlemen, if you have not found your partner a Valentine's gift, Bonang is going to distract you with a whole lot of sexy on the other side of our breather.
Get ready to be ignited by the most inspiring personalities our continent has to offer. MTC's Masters of Success.
And I just thought, what? They want me to do what? And they said, yes, we want you to go back home, think about a few designs for our Valentine's lingerie collection. And that was that experience to work behind the scenes, to see the quality, to see the time, the attention to detail that goes into something that you buy and just put on, you know. You learn to appreciate the end result a little bit more, and I'm glad I was given the opportunity. It's a first for Woolworths, a first in the country.
We were looking for someone who really resonated with our range's distraction, and Bonang's sexy and gorgeous, has a real sense of glamour, and she was just a perfect fit.
It's always important for me for it to be authentic. Whatever collaboration or brand that I'm part of, it has to be authentic. It has to be something Bonang likes, because it's an out-of-body experience. I think with anything major that happens in anybody's life, it takes some time for, you know, for you to actually process everything, but it's unreal.
Can we have a round of applause for the distraction? I really hope that you won't be too distracted to not listen anymore. Right? So you teamed up with Woolworths and you came up with this amazing concept for lingerie.
Yes.
Is there any furtherance of that collaboration in terms of any other items of clothing? Maybe a Bonang brand completely?
You know what, I think what people always ask me is how these collaborations work. And, you know, some of the times it's about you going to the actual brand and putting together a presentation and telling them why it is you think you are, you know, suitable for that particular
Brand, yeah.
brand. But with, you know, Woolworths, they called me almost 3 or 4 years ago. And they said, this is what we want to do. This is an idea we had. And I remember thinking, oh, okay, this is cool. They want me to just, like, you know, take a couple of pictures and look cool. And then I went back to my management team and I said, you know, why don't we stretch it out a little bit? Instead of me just, like, you know, doing one photo shoot with Woolworths, how can we expand on it so that it's something that lasts a little bit longer? And we went back, we sat down with them, very long meeting, about 3.5 hours, and we told them and showed them, you know, what it would do for Woolworths if we stretch it out and didn't just make it a one-time collection.
Yeah.
Something that will happen over 3-4 years. Because you get to a point, you know, with entertainment, it's so frivolous. It's so quick. It happens, you know, in like 3 years after that, there's somebody else that's cooler, faster, slimmer, sexier.
Brand new.
Exactly. So wherever you are at that moment, if you feel like you're at the climax of your career, you need to start finding things that are going to last a little bit longer. So that's what we did with this. And now it's lingerie. Who knows? Maybe in a couple of years, it might be clothes and shoes and accessories and a whole lot of other things. But that's how the collaboration started.
It's actually brilliant, and we're so happy that we can get it in Woolworths, guys. Now you know.
Thank you.
So we are now at the part where we need to talk about Bonang and what Bonang goes through on a daily basis. Because people look at celebrities and they think,
Oh, yeah.
everything's easy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's a breeze, Queen Bee after all, royalty. But there are challenges that you face on a daily basis.
It's not every day, it's literally every single moment.
Absolutely.
Somebody asked me the other day, if you had to have a daughter and she wanted to get into entertainment, or a child even, would you say yes? I'd be like, hell no. This thing is terrible. I promise you now. Not terrible in a sense like, oh my God, make it stop. But there's so much that comes with it that it withers away at the reasons why it was meant to be good in the first place. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes a whole lot of
There's
sense.
so much pressure, there's so much turmoil, there's so much that is expected of you that you get to a point where you start forgetting why you were doing it in the first place,
Yeah.
if you understand what I mean. I mean, with entertainment, it's everything. It's people on social media, number one. Two, it is, you know, the industry itself that puts you up against other people, puts you up against yourself, or puts you up against friends. It is media, tabloids. It is friends. It is loyalty. It is people lying. It's a whole lot of stuff that we deal with every single day. So if you had to ask me one thing, I can't even tell you.
Okay, well, let's zoom in on some of those things.
All
Let's see
right.
how far we get with this one. Because I'm naturally inquisitive, and we want to know, right? We want to know what Bonang has to say. I mean, that's why we're here. The very first pressure. Industries like media are in the past, were male-dominated. And like a phoenix, you just decided, okay, well, I'm here now. The queen is here, take note, bow down. Not that last word Beyonce used, but anyway. How have you managed to, you know, sort of become successful and extend the longevity of your presence in the media industry as a woman surrounded by so many successful men as media practitioners? And how have you been able to sort of not allow you being a woman to count against you?
I think what's important when you get into any industry, and I think whether it's entertainment or any other corporate industry, you need to first decide why you're doing it. And the reasons for you doing it is to make yourself happy. It is because you want to do it. If somebody had to ask you a question, like if they had to take the money and the fame and the cars and the glitz and the glam away from whatever it is that you're doing, would you still do it? If your answer is yes, then that is pure love. You're doing it for the love. You're not doing it for, you know, everything else that comes with it.
Yes, please.
So that was my first decision. You know, I knew from the get-go that I was doing this for myself. And secondly, I was doing it for my parents. Everybody else was third, or fourth, fifth, sixth, you know, down the line.
Yeah.
But, you know, you get to a point in your life where when you start making yourself happy, right, and you are a happy being, that happiness is reflected into the universe. And what happens with the universe is that it gives you what you take out into the universe. So if you are radiating love, love comes back to you. If you're radiating joy, joy comes back to you. If you're radiating hard work and success, success comes back to you. And when you start concentrating on fulfilling yourself and making sure your inner being and your soul is happy, everything else doesn't matter. Whether they're men or women, money, male-dominated, all of that doesn't matter. Because I got into the industry thinking, I want to please Bonang. Because I want Bonang, when she hits that pillow at night, I'm the only person. I'm alone.
Yeah.
I have to be happy. You know, everybody else I only see when I switch on my car, drive to a studio, switch on, you know, my phone or whatever it is. So the gratification had to happen within myself first. Because the universe it's very simple. And this is what people don't know. You've read the book The Secret, right?
Of course, yes.
I live my life according to The Secret. If you haven't read that book, it changed my life. I first read it first year in varsity at the University of Johannesburg. And I remember reading it because at that moment in my life, there were so many things that I wanted that weren't going my way. I had done 6 or 7, 8, 9 auditions in one day. I didn't get any of them. I did about 19, 20 auditions in 1 month. I didn't get any of them. So I started doubting myself. I started feeling rejected, you know, untalented, stupid, ugly, out of place, whatever it is. And then I picked up this book, and I remember reading it. And what it says, this is the secret, is that, you know, we're all sort of in the universe. Energies reflect energies. What you give out into the universe, you receive. So I remember thinking, maybe the reason why I'm not getting anything that I want is because of my thoughts.
Yes.
Is because I keep thinking I'm not good enough. I keep thinking, oh, I'm a reject. So the world says, oh, she thinks she's a reject, let's keep rejecting her. You know what I mean? And then I picked up the book, and I remember reading the book, and it said, if you want a car, imagine you own it. Imagine you're worthy of owning it. All right?
Yes.
And then it said, you want a job. Imagine you have that job. Imagine you're worthy of being in that position. Get into change your world in such a way that you are already mentally in that position. Dress according to the position you want, not the position you have.
Yes.
You know?
Praise be to Jesus.
And I remember thinking, okay, let's try this. And I remember thinking, okay, there's this one show that I want. And I'm going to believe I have it. I'm going to believe I'm worthy of receiving it. And my thoughts, actions, and all my prayers are going to be positive, number one. They're going to be reflective of what I want the end gift to be.
Yes.
They are not going to be sort of like defamatory towards anybody. They're not going to be negative thoughts towards anybody else. I'm going to be so focused and so positive and so zoned into this thing that I want that nothing else is going to matter. First example, I remember I wanted a Mini Cooper S. And I'm like, okay, I want a Mini Cooper S. And it has to be a drop top.
Yes.
I don't care what color it is, it has to be a drop top. And then I started thinking, okay, I imagine I'm worthy of having this Mini Cooper. And what it says in the book is that if you want a car, go test drive it so that you know the feeling
Of driving that car.
of how it is
Yeah.
when you own it. Got into my car, I drove to BMW, to Mini Cooper, and I got into the car and I remember driving it. And I remember, you know, after I parked it, I prayed and I said, dear universe, I'm worthy, I am fabulous, I'm going to own this. 7.5 months later, I drove that car out of the dealership. Do you understand what I mean? So that's what it is.
Yeah.
That really is what it is. It's a little bit of everything. So,
Yes.
you know, it's a little bit of hard work. It's a little bit of good luck, but most of all, believe it or not, you are your thoughts. Trust and believe it.
That is really, really
Yeah.
powerful. Now you guys know how I got to host Masters of Success. I believed it. Yes, please.
So, you know, when you ask me that question about how do I feel if it's male dominated and all of that,
Yes.
if you don't think about certain things, they don't affect you.
They don't affect you. So even the issue regarding, for example, racial discrimination or gender stereotypes, like, no, she can't be that powerful. She must have slept her way up the ladder. Because people don't believe that other people can really just be talented. There's always a little secret. There's always the wrong secret. Issues like that have never, ever, you've never come across them.
What other people think of me is none of my business. So, you know the problem that this is what happens, right?
Yes.
And this is what people don't understand, is that God has already planned out and set out everything that is due to you. Human beings are just a distraction. And what other beings allow is for those human beings to be a distraction.
Yes.
They distract you so much that you forget about what you were meant to become in the first place. You know? So I'm like, if I allow these men and all these people to keep telling me about this and that and the other thing, and also God tests you, right?
Yes.
He wants to see if you're worthy of this colossal gift that he's about to bless you with. So he wants to see if you're going to actually shift your attention from his blessings to a non-entity. And that's what most people do, is that you bicker and moan and yell and scream and worry and complain about how this person doesn't want you to be successful and that person. Well, you could move all that energy to becoming a success, That for me. That was
really simple,
that is how I work. First of all, I've never experienced racial discrimination, so even if I've experienced it, I haven't really paid attention to it. So it doesn't really affect me. Men, no. I have because my parents are divorced. I have two fathers, both of them very strong, and they say a daughter's first love is is her father, and when you're gonna tell me about men. The only men I know are those two men who hold women in a high regard, who respect them. So when you say male-dominated, my fathers have always told me that I can be and do anything I want. Whether you are male, female, Chinese, black, Indian, or white, nothing is going to stop me,
Yes.
So that's what I've always believed. I've never allowed other human beings to sort of move
Dictate
me
where
from
you
my
go.
path
Yeah.
now. Maybe a little bit, but not all the time.
Not all the time.
Yeah.
What's the funniest story you've read about yourself in the tabloid that just had you flabbergasted?
Oh, where's Ntato? He'll know. What is it? There's so many.
They're that okay, but then you also don't notice them, so it's kind
No?
of
No, I do.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, honey.
So every day you're on let me check myself.
No.
Okay.
I've got something called RSS feed. So every time somebody says something, now apparently I'm really hot in Nigeria. So every time somebody says something about me in Nigeria, like on a blog, in a newspaper, even in Namibia, it
Yeah.
pops up in my email.
Oh,
so I
okay.
see every single thing. If Bonang Matheba's name comes
Is
up
attached.
anywhere, so when you say I can't ignore them, they're there. But there's been so many. Gosh, I'm sure you tell me.
We have plenty.
Tell me.
We have plenty. But
Tell me.
It's about inspiration, so let's not, we just talked about The Secret. Let's not go
Yeah.
back to that one. Speaking of, there's something magical about you. It's your ability to just be fierce. There's this phrase that you always repeat, kill him with success. You
Oh,
keep
yes.
saying it, and it's powerful. It's really, really powerful because you kill all of that distraction and all of that negativity, but you also kill the red carpet at every event you
Oh, darling. Thank you.
She looks absolutely amazing right now.
Thank you.
That's why I'm just kind of hoping I will also appear in some of the pictures,
Thank
so
you.
we're going to take a look at a couple of pictures that have been taken of you at events
I hope I
over
look
a
cute.
certain period of time. And then we just want you to explain your look because you have a variety of different looks and you manage to kill them each and every time.
Thank you.
So let's take a look at this very, very first one. And feel free to clap. It looks absolutely
That's
amazing.
Oscar de la Renta. I mean, you know how much that dress was? Oh my goodness, you are going to die. Okay, so listen, right? So this dress is 190,000 rands. It doesn't come with the belt.
So you had to buy the belt.
No, the belt is 25,000 rand.
I'm so afraid to even
promise
ask
you.
about your shoes.
Okay, I know those shoes were like 20 rand. I don't know.
So,
Where the shoes
okay. Well, then she's also
No,
economic
but
and
this is not my
fashionable.
dress. I wore it, then I took it back. I don't have 190,000 rand for a dress. Hell no! I'm like, oh, Oscar de la Renta, rest in peace. But I'd rather put it into my bond. 190.
Yes,
But
yeah.
it looks beautiful.
It
I
looks
wore this
absolutely
at an opening of a boutique in Joburg called Luminance. Yeah.
Very nice. Now let's move to the next one, and we're hoping this dress is actually yours. You slayed this outfit. It reminds us of such a goddess sort of. What event was this, and who inspired the look?
The Channel O Music Awards, 2012, 13. Last year was 2014. I didn't attend them last year.
2013.
Yes,
then.
2013.
Yes.
That's a Gertje Hankutsie dress.
South African designer.
I remember seeing it, and I'm like, very curtainy. All right? and then I said, okay, Gert, add something here, add something there, and then give me a gold belt, and then I'll come back tomorrow and fit it. And then he did all of that, and that's what it was. This dress actually was nominated at the Cape Town Design Indaba
Yes.
as one of the most beautiful objects in South Africa.
Yes.
This dress with 5 other objects like, like art pieces and all of that. So it's cute. I don't own this dress. I don't know where it is.
You have no. So let's
Yeah.
let's try the next one, and we're hoping this one is in your cupboard at home. Let's take a look. Revlon Daring.
No, I don't know where that is
Red.
either.
You have no idea?
No.
But then that's what happens when you have so many dresses.
No.
Where is
Stop
it?
lying. Stop lying. I don't know where it is because I can't wear it again. So I get rid of, I'm like, psh, whatever,
Yeah.
I either pop them in my boot or throw them in the bath or leave them somewhere.
Yeah.
But this is also Gert. It was at the launch of my Revlon ambassadorship. That was June 2013.
Okay, June 2013. And then the last one, this one is my favorite. There's something angelic
Oh, yeah.
about this picture. She looks so innocent, doesn't she?
No, no, please. let me tell you the truth about this dress, right?
Yes.
So Gert Johan made this dress, and he's like, Bonang, my bloemie, listen here, I'm like, yeah, what? So I said to him, okay, I'm hosting the Gauteng Sports Awards. I need a dress. And then he says, I need you to do me a favor. I'm like, what? And then he says, well, I'm launching a wedding, a bridal collection. I need you to wear a sort of a wedding inspired dress. I'm like,
Yes.
no. And then he said, okay, what if we do this and that and this and that? We changed it. This dress looked like a wedding gown. I first of all, this tulle went all the way to the floor. I chopped it, all right? And the top part had beads. I was like, no, I'm not trying to be a crystal ball. Put flowers on it. And then what else? It didn't have that sort of belt thing. It had a big, gigantic diamante, what. And then I asked him to remove that. So I don't know where that is either.
Well, then I'm sure in your cupboard there are plenty, plenty fashionable items. Any South African or international designer that you'd actually like to collaborate with in terms of an outfit that you haven't already? So Oscar's
I
off the
like
table.
Olivier from Balmain. I think he's fantastic.
Yes.
I live for him. And Ricardo Tiski for Givenchy. I absolutely love him. But there's this man that I discovered from Mozambique. His name is Taibo Bakar, and I'm obsessed with him. So, my next little thing is going to come from Mozambique.
Okay, I just put a mental reminder to Google those names a little later on. Let's move on to because obviously everyone is here because they know what Bonang does and they believe in what it is you do. Achievements, you don't like any of them. There was a long list that I quoted, but for those who really don't understand the extent to which it is you have excelled in the media industry, what are your top 3 most infamous achievements? And what do they represent? And which part of your career were they specific?
I think first of all was this year, last year in April when I joined Metro FM, which is the national radio station in South Africa, primarily because I had a dream, or not a dream, but it was my, I just wanted it so badly. And I wanted it so badly for about 3.5 years. Prior to that, I sent a demo to Metro FM, the year before. And, I did the interview and all of that. And once again, I was rejected. That was 2013.
Yes.
So it wasn't years ago. A year before that, I had sent my demo again before that. So 2 years in a row, I'd sent my demo into Metro FM, and twice in a row, they'd said no. So for me, getting into Metro FM, and I remember saying to myself that I'm going to land up on a national radio station, come hell or high water, I'm going to do what needs to be done in order for me to get there. And it took about 3.5 years before I finally, landed that position, which was in the 1st of April 2014, which for me was a huge success.
Yes.
Revlon, I love and I appreciate and I celebrate because out of everything, I actually didn't see that one coming. For me, I've always just wanted to be a badass TV presenter,
Yes.
an awesome radio presenter, travel around the world and MC some fabulous events here and there. I was content with doing that for the rest of my life. Everything else that has happened, Woolworths, Revlon, Ciroc, Brutal Fruit, is all, God's doing. That is nothing to do with me. Because for me, I knew what I wanted. I wanted a TV show. I wanted to be on Top Billing. I wanted to do Clash of the Choirs. I wanted to have a docuseries. I wanted to have a production company. And then I wanted to have a radio show on a national radio station. And then now, my next thing is like by the end of this year, I have to have a talk show. So those are my plans when I was 21 that I'd written down.
Yes.
So Revlon was just something that came out of nowhere. It was a call that we got from New York. It was a screening session for 7.5 months. And, I think for me that was phenomenal. The third thing was obviously Bonang Matheba Entertainment, which is my production company,
Okay.
which does 4 or 5 TV productions in South Africa at the moment. But you can't say 3 because, girl, give me space. Can I say maybe 7?
2 more.
And something else that I love is, something that people don't know. There are 2 young girls who go to the University of Johannesburg, and I'm taking them through school. They're doing a BCom in accounting, and one of them passed last year cum laude, and now she's doing her honors.
Wow, fancy.
So, for me, that is amazing, and then after she graduates, she has to work for me so she can do our taxes for free.
Yes, also. Give back.
And the other thing, I think when I landed up on the Forbes list in 2013
Yes.
was amazing.
Yes.
And I think, those for me are, everything else is not as big as those.
But we are still grateful, of course.
Very grateful. Always.
Now, when we look at celebrities, like you said in the past, you wanted to just travel the world and sip cocktails. Most people actually think celebrities literally only have time to do that. Like
I
sip
didn't want to do that,
cocktails
actually.
And go onto islands and attend fashion shows
Yeah.
and so forth. But there's actually a social responsibility aspect to the work that celebrities do. What are some of the social responsibility projects that you are involved with, and how have they impacted the society that you live in?
I think social responsibility is just living a responsible life every single day.
Yeah.
And it's not, okay, now let me be on. Now I'm like on. Now I'm a celebrity. It is literally like a 24/7
type of thing.
type of job.
Yes.
And that's why not so many people can last in it, because like I said, you're either born to do it or you're not. And it comes from just authenticity.
Yes.
And that's what a lot of people lack. But also it comes from the foundation of love. Because once you do something that you love, other people can see that you love doing that. And there's something about love that people don't know, is that love loves love. Mm-hmm. Love goes to love.
Yes.
Love just is drawn into love. So as soon as you do that, everything else kind of is very simple. But the thing is about being a celebrity is that you're a role model even before you ask for the title, for the title, whatever it is. So social responsibility is just being about it every single day. I drink, oh girls, I'm like,
Turn up.
turn up, But I do it in my hotel room because I know if I do it anywhere else, it's going to land up in a paper, and then Woolworths is going to call, and then Revlon is going to call. So it comes with a lot of responsibility. But I turn up.
Well, hopefully we can turn up after this. Just turn up Namibian style, yeah?
I leave like hotel rooms upside down. Ask Tata, he'll tell you. But I do it in my own space, But for me, I do a lot of things. I'm I'm an ambassador for the Nelson Mandela Foundation. Mm-hmm. So what we're doing in July, we're going to summit the Kilimanjaro, because we're trying to raise funds for a school in South Africa. There are a couple of girls who can't afford to go to varsity.
Yes.
So we're going to summit Kilimanjaro with a few executives in July. And we're going to be on top of Kilimanjaro on the 18th of July, which is Utata Nelson Mandela's birthday.
Yes.
So that's what I do. A lot of work with Nelson Mandela Foundation. I also have something called Assist a Sister. What happens is it's a mentoring program. So you send me an email and you tell me what's wrong. And what I try to do is hook you up with people in whatever industry you're in. So this morning I got an email from a lady from Kimberly,
Yes.
and she said that she just did her honors and she wants to get into fashion. So I hooked her up with Khaja Hankatea, who has like a fashion education and a bursary running with the London International School of Fashion.
Yes.
So that's what a sister does. And what's going to happen is that it's also going to start living on radio. So those are my two big projects, and of course the two girls that I'm helping get through school. But other than that,
Well, just in case you guys are trying to take out your phones and send your email, mine has, just
yeah,
you
Bonang at
receive it
bonangmatheba.com.
in
Very
a second,
simple.
and you better respond, girl.
I will.
You
I will.
better
It might
respond.
take like 4 or 5 days, but eventually it will come.
It's okay, I can wait. There's time. Now, let's continue. There's that one achievement that everybody like holds dear to their hearts. And I remember I put up a post on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and I said, is there any question that you guys would like for me to ask Bonang? And a lot of people actually inboxed me and said, Josie, I want you to ask her one very simple question. What was the one thing that you achieved that made you realize that now I'm here? Now I'm success. I've made it. It's Queen Bee time. Everybody stop.
It wasn't one particular, achievement. It was one particular moment.
Yes.
And when a group of girls came up to me in a shopping center, and one of them said, Bonang, you're the reason why I wake up every morning. You waking up gives me the reason to wake up. You holding on and working hard every day gives me the hope to do the same.
Yes.
So that is it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was it. I was like, you know what? I can die right now. Everything is fantastic. It's cool. But now I realize I'm at a point in my life where, you get to a point in your life where you realize, your blessings aren't about you anymore.
Yes, they
That
are
actually
not.
God is using you as a tributary.
Yes.
I always say He gives to you so He can give through you. Whether it's money or cars or hope or laughter, or somebody looking at you and feeling a bit better, you are a tributary. You are an angel. You are the reason for somebody else to smile. So now I realize if I don't wake up, or if I don't want to carry on, if I don't fight the demon, or if I don't push a little bit harder, or don't sleep, or get on that 4 a.m. flight, or spend 48 hours awake, if I don't do that, there's a little girl that's watching me that's gonna feel like, whatever, please, I'm not gonna do the same. So there's a huge pressure that comes with that. But with that, there's also a huge fulfillment that comes with that.
Yes.
When you get on earth and you're so content and you realize, okay, this is it. I'm actually here to help other people.
Yes.
That's all. Be it through your talent or money, like I said, that's where I am right now. So that little girl on that particular day, that's my greatest achievement.
And it's wonderful that you say there's that little girl that looks up to you, because at some stage you, and I think still will always be your mother's little girl that
Yeah.
looks up to her as well. I've noticed, and I was YouTube stalking you, honey. I watched all of your interviews. Let's just put that out there so it's not awkward anymore.
Okay.
So, obviously, in most of your interviews that you've done about yourself, you always talk about how your mother has contributed a whole lot to how it is you, or the person that it is you are, and more so on an inspirational level
Yeah.
as well. What are some of the moments that your mother has cited as being the proudest moments of you since becoming Queen Bee?
Oh, my mom is a simple woman. She's like, you're going to Namibia? Oh my God! That for her is like an achievement. Like, oh, now you speak in like international status. I'm like, Mom. Namibia is next door, Mom. Come on.
Yeah.
Really. But
Yeah.
that's the thing with mothers. They will celebrate every single thing. And, that's why I love her so much. And that's the reason why I wake up every morning just to make her proud, because I'm not an island. No man is an island.
Yes.
And part of the reason why I am who I am right now is because of my mother. Mm-hmm. And I'm lucky in that I was around her when we got from being like dead, like just beat down broke, not having 5 rand to get to work,
Yes.
to where she is right now, Part of the reason why I'm so ambitious is because I grew up around a woman who fought the world, family, parents, my father, my friends. just boyfriends and friends and all sorts of things to become the woman that she is. And I think part of the reason why I'm so tenacious and so motivated and so ambitious is because of my mom. Is because I literally watched her get from nothing, to ending up in Durban working as an executive. So that's the only thing. She is my, I don't know, she's sort of like my I don't want to call it landmark, but she's my reference.
Okay.
I see it can be done because I've watched it happen around me. So success or becoming a better person isn't, it's sort of like, it's second nature. It makes sense.
Yes.
Everybody around you just kind of got themselves out of poverty. Why can't you?
Yes.
I would literally, and I'm telling you now, be the black sheep in my family if I just sort of like went with the flow
Chilled.
and decided,
Became a
whatever.
teacher.
Yeah. No, teachers are fabulous. I wanted to be a teacher. I would have been a fabulous teacher.
With
That's
style,
the thing.
with a whole lot of style.
For me, it's like whatever position you're in, you must kill it. That's my,
See what I meant? That's what you said.
That's my thing.
Yes.
And that's the thing with my mom. That's where I saw it happening, that you need to kill it every single time.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing. She's my reference. And because she's done so much with herself, with me, with my family, she is my role model. for instance.
What's the most powerful thing that she's ever said to you? Like that one thing that you use as a reference, like my mama said, I must never, or I must, or turn up, or whatever the case is. But what's the most powerful thing your mom ever told you?
My mom thinks I don't party. She thinks I'm like the sweetest girl in the world. She says a lot of things.
Yes.
She says I must marry a rich man. She says I must never show like my boobs and legs at the same time.
Wow.
She says I must dress and I must cover my body. She always says. She says I must always pray. She says I must work hard and that success is my own responsibility and no one owes me anything.
Yeah.
And if there's anything that I want, unfortunately, I'm going to have to work, wake up, show up, dress up, and kill it.
Every single time.
Yeah, every single time.
We're not done yet. We're not done yet, just in case you guys are wondering. We still have so much more of Bonang's fabulousness coming up. But we need to take a break because I just feel like there's so much and I need to breathe. Plus, I have butterflies in my stomach because that necklace of hers is just really killing it. So before we kill it some more with Bonang, let's take a quick breather and then we get to the interesting part, which is the inspiration session.
Hi, I'd like a cup of coffee, please.
An espresso. Doppio. Cappuccino.
Yeah.
Mocha espresso.
Okay.
Latte.
Latte.
Americano. Wait. I know what you want. An Africano.
Yo, MTC understands that too much choice can be overwhelming, so we simplified our packages to offer you the best in voice, data, and SMS.
Trust MTC to always make the connection, right? I'm sure we can get Bonang and Africano before she leaves. Tim, we're going to have to look into that one.
Please.
Now, let's get to the real deal. Why exactly it is we are here. There are a lot of inspirational people in Africa, especially in the media industry. You're the queen, but obviously we have princes and princesses and the king who are also majoring in the media industry. Just for a point of suggestion, who are some of the people in Africa that you believe are standing out in terms of being media moguls?
You mean young or old?
Anything together, all of. Let's just get them all in there.
Well, I have a lady, Bastana Kumalo, who is my boss at Top Billing. She's executive producer, was Miss South Africa 1994. She's been able to sort of just, turn her life around. She's a businesswoman. She owns a production company, which is one of the most successful in the country. So I definitely look up to her. I think a lot of girls look up to her. She epitomizes class. She epitomizes hard work. She epitomizes patience. And I think she's just a true reflection of what God can do to you and for you if you're just patient and believe in Him. Somebody else that I really, really love is Patience Stevens, another executive producer at Top Billing, who's just she's sort of like an ice queen, she is, but she is very, very hardworking. From 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., she taught me, like, if it's not done, don't sleep.
Yes.
So those two women are women that I absolutely love.
So those are basically women that you were suggesting the crowd could also look up to in terms
I mean,
of...
it depends what industry you're in. It depends
Yes.
what qualities you're looking for in a
Yes.
person. You know, we don't see the same things, you know, in people. We don't value the same things in people. We don't draw the same amount of inspiration from, you know, different people all across the world. So it just depends on what you want and where you see yourself. And I think that's how you first make the decision of who you want to look up to.
Absolutely. Everybody has a mantra that they live by.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody. For example, I believe, mine's very simple. What your mind conceives and your heart believe, you can achieve always.
Yeah.
It's a very simple mantra. It's complicated sometimes because I mix up the words, but I always get there eventually. What is Bonang's mantra?
Mine is very simple. It's rise above, return hate with love, kill them with kindness, and bury them with success.
Oh, fierce. Fierce, 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 fierce. Now, you've
Works
worked,
every time.
you've worked extremely hard to get where it is you are. Like you've said, sleepless nights, a whole lot of turning up,
Oh, yeah.
painful moments, lessons being learned. But it's all in pursuit of creating a legacy because you want the name to represent something even further than what it is your body can. At some point, you're going to leave this earth.
Oh, yeah.
What do you want your legacy to represent? When someone thinks of Bonang, what should that legacy
I think
represent?
even before I wanted it to become a legacy, I just wanted to achieve certain things. And this is how my career began. I sat down and I wrote down everything that I wanted by the age of 25. And looking back at that list, I actually did achieve everything that I wanted on that list. And on my birthday last year, I wrote down another list of everything that I want to achieve by the time I'm 30. So that by the age of 30, you know, I go back to that list, I refer back to it, and I check how far I am in terms of whatever goals or achievements. I think for me, legacy is something that happens while you're living your life. It is not something that you have to think about all the time.
Yes.
It is something you create while you are living your life and achieving your own dreams and being the person you want to be. For me, there are certain things that I have to do. Have to be, you know, the number one, hopefully, TV host on the African continent by the age of, I think, 29. That is something I definitely want to do. Host either an international pageant, Miss World, Miss Universe. That's where, you know, my mind is at the moment.
Yes.
Obviously, carry on a national radio station, do a straight-to-TV film. You know, release a few other things here and there. But a legacy is not something I am thinking about. So unfortunately, I can't answer that question. If I want to be remembered as somebody, it's just a hardworking girl who just woke up every day and just wanted to kick ass. That's all.
And we can live with that. We can take that on.
Simple.
It's still as powerful and effective. This is our final question.
Ooh.
But it's not really a question. You see, all of these lovely people here have come out. Like, people could be watching TV, NBC, hopefully. You know, it could be cooking. But they took the time out to come because there's something that they need from you. There's a craving for inspiration
should
that they
ask
can
me.
get only from you.
Are they gonna ask me anything?
No.
Okay.
Let's not, don't worry. You know, there's a little bit of a surprise later on, don't worry.
Okay.
But this is the moment where I really just want you to face your audience and, as a feminist, as a daughter, as a sister, as a businesswoman, as a human being, speak life into that kind of inspiration that only
It's
Bonang
impossible to
can.
speak life in one sentence.
Yes. Not one sentence.
It's impossible
but
to speak life in like 5 minutes. Don't you think?
Yeah, but it's possible. We'll take what we can get.
You know, I always say, whatever it is that you want to achieve, and specifically in the entertainment industry, for people who want to get into the entertainment industry, I always say, you must ask yourself, what is the one thing about you that you could bottle and sell?
Yes.
Do you want to think, what is it about you that you could bottle and sell?
I'm fabulous.
I'm fabulous.
Well, then I'm creative.
But what is it about you that differentiates you from
You see
everybody
how she
else?
does this?
No,
Like,
no, no,
now
no, no.
she's asking me the
No, no, no.
question.
You said I must give life. I'm getting there. Getting there. So what is it about you that differentiates you from everybody else around you?
The fact that I'm gifted beyond bounds in terms of articulation and also creativity.
And if you had to put it in this bottle, what is the one thing that I would want to buy from you?
You'd want to buy my confidence and ability to do anything.
There you go.
I just had my moment.
There you go. So that's how it starts. You know, for me, that's how I started my thinking.
Yes.
As soon as you believe in yourself, as soon as you know what makes you different from everybody else around you, then you will know your uniqueness and you'll start celebrating your uniqueness.
Yes.
Because for me, like I always say, the foundation of everything is love. Find something that you love and then find somebody to pay you to do it every day.
That's true.
Right?
Yes.
I love speaking. I'm getting somebody to pay me to speak.
Yes.
Every day on TV and radio. So find something that you love to do every single day and find somebody who is willing to pay you to do that every single day, because then you will not have to work a single day of your life. But also do it for yourself. Don't do it for the world. Because whether you are thin, fat, young, old, the world will never be happy for you. You'll never be enough for the world.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So the minute you are happy with yourself, no one really matters after that. So that's basically all I can say.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to do